Madam Speaker, let me begin with a snapshot of what we are seeing in America today. A novel coronavirus that has infected more than 1.4 million people in this country and has taken the lives of close to 90,000 Americans already. More than 20 million jobs lost in the last month. Communities asked to stay home. Businesses closed. An unemployment rate that stands at 14% and growing. Lines for food banks that stretch for miles, and first responders working to the bone to save lives. People are struggling, Madam Speaker. We haven't seen numbers like this since the Great Depression. This situation demands a whole-of-government response that matches the challenges that we face. I'm proud that this Congress has come together on multiple bills that provide trillions of dollars in emergency aid. We knew then that although those bills were a large investment, they were just the first step in our response. This rule will allow for consideration of the HEROES Act, a comprehensive response to further help the American people. This bill is named after the teachers, healthcare workers, and first responders that keep us all safe. It puts these heroes front and center by providing more than $1 trillion for states and localities to give them the pay that they have earned. The bill also establishes a HEROES Fund totaling $200 billion so that the essential workers who have risked their lives during this pandemic get the hazard pay that they deserve. There's another $75 billion for coronavirus testing, treatment, and tracing. There is support here for workers, renters, homeowners, and small businesses. This legislation also protects our democracy by providing resources to ensure safe federal elections, an accurate census count, and a postal service that can continue its vital work. I am especially proud to see provisions here to fight the growing hunger crisis in America. That includes many of the ideas behind the bipartisan Bicameral FEED Act and a separate 15% increase in the maximum benefit under SNAP, our nation's premier anti-hunger program. More than 40 million people relied on this program even before this pandemic hit. So when people say they want to get back to normal, I want to get back to better than normal, because having 40 million people in this country hungry even before this pandemic is unconscionable. We need to do better. Today we see lines for food banks across the country that go for miles and miles. Parking lots are so full at some of these places that they look like some kind of gathering for a major sporting event. But instead, it is people just trying to secure their next meal. This is happening in the richest country on the face of the earth, a country whose president, by the way, was trying to weaken the SNAP program and slash its benefits before COVID-19 hit. If he succeeded, that would have thrown millions and millions of poor people off the program. People are suffering, Madam Speaker. But just this week, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called this bill a messaging exercise. I don't give a damn about sending a message, Madam Speaker. I want to send help to those in desperate need. As we act on this bill today, we are also moving forward as part of this rule with temporary changes to ensure that Congress can continue legislating throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes enabling virtual committee proceedings and remote voting on the House floor during this emergency. I don't suggest these changes lightly. I still believe that we do our best work in person and side by side, but we must temporarily embrace technology during this unprecedented time, the same way local governments and countries around the world have, so we can continue legislating as safely as possible. Madam Speaker, the status quo has become dangerous and unacceptable. We must act. Let's meet this moment. Let's honor our heroes, and let's make sure that we can act throughout this pandemic. I encourage all my colleagues to support this rule and the underlying measure, and I reserve the balance of my time.